What's going on, boys? My name is Sid, and welcome to a developer interview. Yes, I talked to some of the devs from the Crew Motorfest, right? I was going to say the Crew 2. That's going to take some getting used to. From the Crew Motorfest, I talked to some of the developers. And this is that video right here. I talked to Ewan and Quinton. I'm probably butchering those French names, but really cool guys. And I'm not really going to waste much of your time, except I will tell you that, of course, subscribe, because I'm going to be giving away up to 5 copies of the Crew Motorfest to subscribers, with 1 new copy every 10,000 subscribers. So check that out, by the way. Here's everything I would ever need to plug. Check it out, right? It's on screen. If you're on any of those platforms, check it out, right? There's everything I would ever need to plug. Right. Into the developer interview. And there we are. What's good? How are you boys doing? I mean, introduce yourselves, I suppose.
Alright, yes. Thank you, Sid. Yes, we're doing good. So I'll start introducing myself. I'm Quentin. I'm a project coordinator on the project. I've been working with Ivory Tower for about 4 years. So I have worked on the Crew 2 for a while, and I've been working as well on the Crew Motorfest now for a while as well.
And so for me, I'm Johan. I'm a communication officer here at Ubisoft Ivory Tower. I arrived in the studio in 2021, so working both on TC2 and TCM, and now, fully working on the upcoming release of the Crew Motorfest.
Yeah, and I've talked to you in DMs before, Ewan, and
Yeah. We already talked a lot on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, and Quinton, you're in many of the old like promotional videos for stuff. The 60 FPS update, and the behind the wheels, all of those. That's where I've spotted you before.
I was in some of them, yes.
He also announced the 60 FPS update for TC2 last summer. So,
yeah.
Content is to be in those kind of communication stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine it's kind of cool, though. I've been working on this game for 4 years. I mean, you've been working there for 4 years. Mm-hmm. Wild. Like, let me find the questions and whatnot.
Yeah, and the Crew 2 was already released back then, right? So I arrived after the game launched, and it's still been a while. So and we're still seeing great things on the Crew 2 today, and super excited for the Crew Motorfest. So yeah.
And I know the studio's expanded so much. Like, I know that the studio, since Crew 2 launch, as far as I hear, is this massive expansion in the studio.
Yeah, we have ramped up the teams with the the development of the Crew Motorfest coming along. So we have added more people to the team. So yeah, it's changed a bit since the launch of the Crew 2 for sure.
There we go. And I've got my questions ready now. So the first question that I have is something near and dear to me, because obviously, if I'm planning to play this game for as long as I can, and the Crew 2 ran for 5 years in total. I started playing that game when I was 15 years old. And so the big thing for me is, tell me what you can, and I'll go more specific afterwards, but what's the general gist of long-term updates?
So I think for a long time that is that since TC1, so the Crew 1, our goal was to first, launch a game, but after that be able to bring new content, new cars, new events to the game. So that happened with the Crew 1 and especially with the Crew 2. There's several updates we released, the season system also. So yeah, for the Crew 2, I think it's more than 15 updates or something like that.
God.
So is it really in the DNA of the studio to be able to launch a game, but also to be able to continue supporting the game after the launch, being able to bring new content, new features to the game to let players enjoy it years after years.
Yeah. I mean, the Crew, out of everything, the Crew is praised a lot for its long-term support. I mean, I only started my channel when The Chase came out, and the game was already like 3 years old by then.
Yeah.
And still, it's been going to the degree that it has. And speaking of seasons are different in Motorfest than they were in the Crew 2. What can you tell us about Season 2 and Season 3?
All right, so we had, as you say, it's going to be a bit different. First, we can talk about the duration because we've announced the first season already a few weeks ago, and the first season is going to last 3 months as opposed to the 4 months we had it in TC2. And so we've already had a glimpse and gave you a glimpse of what season 2 would be about with a teasing of the Hoonigan theme, and so that will come out in December. And so, yeah, that was the first thing we had to announce for our post-launch support of the game, which, as Johan said, is something we really focus on. And so for later on and for season 3 and upcoming seasons, we're not ready to share details just yet.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, on that same vein still, one thing I will say is when you go out in the map and you go as far as you can see something up there. And you can, if I go all the way, in fact, I think I remember looking at the Hawaii map, and now I'm putting 2 to 2 together, and it kind of looks like one of the Hawaii islands I've seen. But there's also one here. So just in general, would there ever be consideration of possible island expansions to the game?
So yeah, as we previously talked, we talk about live service. So basically, what we want to do is being able to bring new content, new experience to the game in the coming months and years. And we also want to work with the community to have constant new content for them. And the Crew Motorfest is here to stay for years to come. So yeah, what we can say is that if we find a way to surprise you, we certainly will.
I'll take it. And other things on the same vein of long-term updates, but I suppose it's been said in the mix of it as well. Just stuff like the frequency of vehicle drops, the frequency of playlist drops as well.
Okay.
And if we will see new playlists as well as the frequency of.
Okay. Yeah, so you mentioned vehicle drops first. So again, we were talking about the season structure earlier for the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest being a bit different. But something that is not changing for sure is our will to drop new vehicles every season. So this is something we will keep doing. We will have vehicle drops very often, not only for new seasons, right? And you know, at launch, we already have over 600 vehicles available. And we also announced recently the year pass, which will add 25 new vehicles to your collection. So each new season will bring more vehicles, and we'll have also themed content every week, every month, which will be a good opportunity to bring new vehicles as well. And I think you mentioned playlist as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And basically, our goal is being able to bring a new place at every new season. This is and the team is focused on deliver this kind of experience every new season to the game. So
essentially, every 3 months we will see a new playlist, or at least that's what the team's working for.
Yeah.
Great. I love to hear that. Yes.
Not every 3 months, but at least every at each new season.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So depending on the season structure and exactly how that runs. Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Like Liberty Walk, Hoonigan, what are some other mainstream collabs there would be in consideration, or just in general the state of the mainstream collabs, the racing culture collabs?
All right, yeah, so you've mentioned Liberty Walk and Hoonigan. We've also announced recently that we are working with other people on the mainstream, as you said. So we have Donut Media.
Yes.
We have a partnership with Supercar Blondie as well.
Yes.
So we are working on these kind of collabs, and so we cannot share more details for now. But this is something this is something we include as part of, you know, when we talk about car culture.
Yeah.
Car culture is about the brands, like we said. It's about the type of racing we offer you, the type of experience we give you. But it's also about the owners, the customizers, the creators like you, the designers of vehicles, something we've done on the Crew 2 as well with the creator of vehicles. So it's something we still want to do, and we're pushing it a step further with the Crew Motorfest by working directly with the mainstream collabs, as you said. And this is something we'd like to keep doing, yes.
As long as we think that we have how to say that, but as long as we think that we have enough content to create something with whatever is it, a content creator, a brand, or anything else, we will try to add it in the game at the perfect moment.
And in that same vein, It's rather self-serving. Could we ever see SidWaj in the Crew Motorfest to any degree?
Well, I think like Johan said, if it makes sense and if SidWaj would agree to do that, maybe it's something we could think about. But
I'll ask him. I'll ask him. I'm sure he would be ecstatic to all degrees.
Let's talk with SidWaj by email right after this meeting. Just to...
I think he said earlier he was sending you DMs on Twitter or something, so I'm sure you'll reach out to him.
I'll check my DM right after this one.
I couldn't even. That would be unreal. But yes, from that, what I will talk about is that was a lot of upcoming, right? So from that, I'm gonna go a bit more backwards and talk about the development of the game to a degree, right? First of all, let me actually, how was putting the immense amount more detail in the wheel and first person, which I'll speak on first, because it's stuff like the setting off having the mirror adjustment, as well as having the elbow out the window, the first person experience. The one that I have been obsessed with is, the wheel rotation on controller is better, but the 1-to-1 wheel rotation when using a gaming wheel? I'm in awe. So yes, how was putting the immense amount more detail into the wheel and first-person experience? Oh, and the force feedback. Yeah.
So yes, you said there has been some improvement on the wheel side with the Crew Motorfest, because this one of our priorities. We've heard the feedback on TC2, and so we have worked closely with the with our partners on that, so on the wheel manufacturers, and so we've put a lot of effort into this. And thank you for what you said. We're glad that you could see it, wheel in hands. Yeah. It's really something we've put a focus on.
But as we are not really member of the team who really manage to implement this kind of feature, we won't be able to talk into more details about it. But one thing that I can say is that if you take a plane and play in first person and try to use the nitro, you may find a cool animation also.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait. Slow it down. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me hop into the first person.
Yeah.
Wait, whoa. I saw the hand somewhere. Oh, we are. I see that. As well as, I noticed while I'm in this plane as well, seeing the hand animation. It's pretty cool. Also, tassels. Hoodie tassels moving around is such a cool little detail. I noticed that as well. I love the first person in this game. I'm now in an Audi TT. And again, as in the point of making the game, how long has this game been in development, if you can say?
No, totally. So the game is in development for more than 5 years now, and so involve more than, I think it's 300 people. From 4 different studios at Ubisoft. So first we have, of course, Hybrid Tower, but we also have Kiev, Bucharest, and Pune, who helped us develop several things on the game. And we are very grateful from them to help us build the best experience possible for the Crew Motorfest, but also for you, our players.
Yeah, wow. So the game has been in development basically, like at least to some degree, since the start of the Crew 2. It's the next one has been in the mind. With the frequency of Crew 2 updates, that's baffling. That while Crew 2 updates, this one's been in the works too.
This may have a link with what you said with our studio expanding. This is something that was, we were working on. So yeah, it's been.
I think there is a link. We can find a link.
Yeah. Also, in that process of development, what inspired the location, Oahu? What was the inspiration behind that?
So yeah, Oahu is one of the islands of the Hawaii archipelago, as you said, and so we, after the Crew 1 and the Crew 2, which we talked about already a bunch, which were both set on the whole of the US map, we wanted to do something a bit different. We're still in the US, it was still true to the Crew brand, but we wanted to offer something different. So we chose Oahu because it's a place that is referenced to in many movies. To a lot of people, when you think of a place which is like paradise, you think of Oahu. So we wanted to have this to, we're bringing the game to new gen with great graphics. We wanted to have this on display and, bring a new experience in the Crew Motorfest. And we chose, the other reason why we chose Oahu is that for our purpose of having an action-driving game, this place offers a lot of diversity in terms of what kind of racing you have in terms of biomes. So you have the jungle, the beach, the volcano. You can still have the highway, all this, a big city, Honolulu. So this was for us a good place for that.
Yeah, and we also traveled to Oahu with a kind of a field trip to feel the atmosphere. How we will going to create this this type of game. We also collaborate with local artists such as Keola, who was one of our main Hawaiian collaborator to help us to being true to the identity of Hawaii, of Honolulu. And of Oahu, sorry, but not be too cliche, And we also worked with some local artists. I think you can find some of they created for us in. I think a lot of them are available in the city in Honolulu, like a kind of painting on the wall, stuff like that. But you can also find more of this graph all around the island.
Yeah. And you mentioned Keola before. I don't know if you've already played it, but we have, as part of the new content in this closed beta, the Hawaii Scenic Tour playlist. And the person who's talking you through this playlist is Keola. He's our cultural advisor for Oahu. So he's in the game, actually.
Cultural advisor. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Sweet. And then if I look here, I will actually see. What I'll look. I guess I missed one more for upcoming stuff.
Okay.
Will there be base game feature changes, or is it more focused on the themes of the seasons?
So about feature, about the upcoming seasons, like we said, we shared a few announcements a few weeks ago at the Crew Summer.
Yeah, the Crew Summer Showcase.
Exactly, showcase with the first season of content, but we're not ready to share more details about it for now.
Gotcha. Like the Toyota, will there be that focus on new interesting licenses?
We have more now in the Crew Motorfest, more than 50 manufacturers. So yes, including Toyota, and we are very proud here at the CEO to finally be able to work with them to add them into the Crew license. Yes, we have the Toyota Supra after years and years of requests from the community. Yeah, we finally have both the Toyota Supra, the old one and the new one. So yeah, we are really proud of it. And speaking about new brands, so we continue working with partners, and it's very essential for us. But our vision is not to just add new brand to the game. We want to tell or to build stories with them and not just add them into the lineup. And I think something that is really essential for this, what we managed to do with, for example, the 911 playlist, a Porsche Legacy.
Yep.
A Porsche story, and also the Automobili Lamborghini. So this kind of experience was and are really important for us. And this is kind of the thing that we want to create with other car manufacturers.
And a final question is one for perhaps maybe the closer future. Again, I don't know if you'd be able to say. Will we be seeing, before launch, an open beta?
Well, as you know, we've been doing several phases for testing. This is something we've done already back then on TC2 with a lot of TTS phases, which I'm sure you've taken part in. And for the Crew Motorfest, we've had the same. We had also internal playtest here at the office, which is also a different way of testing the game and getting feedback. We had the insider program for a few months, and now we have the closed beta. So if we've done a lot of testing on the game, a lot of different testing phases, if we feel like we need a new phase, you'll get more details on it. But that's all we can say for now.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I will be on the lookout. But on that note, I suppose that's I believe that's most everything I had to ask. So
yeah.
On that note, it was very nice of you guys to join for the developer interview, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to you.
And I'll let SidWaj know that he could like reach out to like anything or like whatever. I mean, I'm sure his inboxes are always open. But you know, that's how that is. It was great talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
And have a good day and have a good play.
You guys as well. I'll see you in a
Thank
bit.
you.
In a bit. There we go, boys! There we go, chat. There we are. That's most of everything. I think that wasn't a crazy amount. I think, like, someone else asked about pedestrians, but I think I was going to ask about pedestrians, chat. But have you seen how the pedestrians behave in the Crew 2? Like, have you seen, like, the sliding around? It's either you have ragdoll physics and all of a sudden it's an 18-rated game, or, you know, you don't have pedestrians. Nice fella just done his outro. I use in a bit as like a goodbye. In a bit was how I said goodbye before it was my outro, alright?